Okay, so what if I told you that a guide to dealing with AI, fake news, and just total digital burnout was actually written about 2,500 years ago? I know it sounds kind of nuts, but this ancient text, the Diamond Sutra, has this powerful and honestly super practical toolkit for our crazy modern lives. So let's dive in and see what it has to teach us.
We have to start here, right? This is the big one. It doesn't matter if you're a writer, a coder, an artist. Pretty much everyone is wondering if AI is going to make their skills obsolete. And it's a huge source of anxiety. It's not just about a paycheck. It's a challenge to our very identity.
And then there's this. I mean, we are just swimming in a sea of deepfakes, viral misinformation, and these filter bubbles that are literally designed to get a rise out of us. It's getting so hard to tell what's real and what's just digital smoke and mirrors.
And finally, there's the constant, endless battle for our most valuable resource, our attention. You know the drill. Every single notification, every endless scroll is engineered to hook you. And it leaves so many of us feeling just completely drained, distracted, and mentally fried.
So yeah, we've got these very 21st century problems. But what if the toolkit to solve them isn't some new app or productivity hack? What if it's tucked away in the ancient wisdom of the Diamond Sutra? Let's take a look. All right, first up, let's tackle that career anxiety. What do you do when a machine can do your job and maybe even do it better? Well, the sutra suggests that the problem isn't really the AI. The problem is how tightly we're clinging to our professional identity. The first tool it gives us is this concept called no self. Now, this doesn't mean you don't exist. It's about seeing that who you are isn't some fixed, solid thing. You're not just a programmer or a designer. That's just a temporary label for a process that's constantly changing and evolving. And to make this idea really stick, here's this fantastic analogy. We tend to think of ourselves as having this solid core, right? But this philosophy says we're actually more like an onion. Your job title, your skills, your social status, they're all just layers. And if AI comes along and peels one of those layers away, sure, it might sting a bit, but it doesn't touch your core because there is no fixed core. You are the whole onion, not just one little layer. This leads to another really powerful metaphor, the raft. Think about it. Your old skills were the raft that got you across the river of your past career. Awesome. But now you're on a new shore, the age of AI. Clinging to those old skills is like hauling that heavy, waterlogged raft on your back. It's just exhausting and, frankly, pointless. The smart move is to leave the raft behind and travel light.
So here's the crucial mental shift. It's moving from seeing yourself as the protagonist, the hero whose value is all tied up in your individual skill, to seeing yourself as an enabler. Your value stops being about what you can do and starts being about what you intend to achieve. Suddenly, AI isn't a threat anymore. It's just a powerful tool that you use to help people and solve bigger problems. Your purpose just got way bigger than your job title. Okay, let's move on to our second big challenge, navigating this world of deepfakes and, those information cocoons we all live in. How do we see clearly when everything online is basically designed to manipulate us?
The sutra gives us this pretty radical lens to see through, something we can call the wisdom eye. And it all starts with this one idea. All that has a form is illusory. In our digital world, form is just pixels, code, algorithms. The wisdom eye is about reminding ourselves not to mistake these temporary, man-made forms for actual reality.
This leads to a really practical mental exercise. Let's call it the Vajra formula. So when you see some piece of content that's designed to get you riled up, you just break it down. Step 1, see the form. Okay, I see a viral video. Step 2, see the essence. Right, this is just pixels, data, and algorithms. It's not independently real. And step 3, name the form. I'll call it a video, but in my head I know it's just a dreamlike bubble of information. This little process creates some much-needed critical distance.
I love this analogy for thinking about online outrage. When you're in a nightmare, getting mad at the tiger that's chasing you is completely pointless, right? The tiger is a creation of your own mind. In the same way, the crazy, outrage-inducing content that an algorithm shoves in your face is often just a reflection of your own data, your own fears, and your own biases, all mirrored right back at you. Getting angry just feeds the beast. And that brings us to our final and maybe the most personal battle. How do we protect our focus and our peace of mind in an economy that is literally designed to hack our attention? The core practice here comes from a famous line in the sutra, "Let the mind arise without abiding anywhere."
Now, this doesn't mean you should check out and become a hermit. It's the opposite. Let the mind arise means engage, participate, learn, create. But without abiding means don't let your mind get stuck. Don't let it get glued to some dumb social media fight or a craving for likes or that endless doom scroll of anxiety.
Let's make this super concrete. We can compare two mindsets. On one side, you have the attached mind. This is like a player who is totally lost in a video game. They believe the game is 100% real, so they get genuinely angry, jealous, and totally drained by it. The alternative is the actor's mind. Think of a professional actor on a stage. They engage fully, they play their part with passion, but they never ever forget it's a performance. When the curtain falls, or when they log off, they just leave it all behind, no emotional baggage.
So how do you actually practice this? Well, here are 3 simple daily exercises you can try. First, identity subtraction. Before you go to sleep, just consciously tell yourself, I am not my job title, I am not my online profile. This helps detach your core self from those temporary labels. Second, clear the cache. Our minds get clogged with useless data, just like a browser. So mentally delete yesterday's online dramas. They're not worth the mental RAM. And third, post without attachment. Go ahead, share your ideas, share your work, but practice letting go of the outcome. The real value is in the act of sharing itself, not in the likes that come after.
So let's back up our survival kit. When you boil it all down, we've got 3 ancient tools, just reframed for today's biggest digital headaches.
And here's the final cheat sheet. For that whole AI and identity crisis, the tool of no self gives you the superpower of flexibility. For all the misinformation and digital illusions, the wisdom I gives you the power of clarity. And for the constant distraction and burnout, the non-abiding mind gives you the power of real focus and, believe it or not, inner peace.
And all of this really leaves us with one big question to chew on. In a world where technology is getting exponentially smarter every single day, maybe our most valuable and uniquely human asset isn't our skill at doing tasks, but our capacity for deep, timeless wisdom.